This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
I'm always like, no, we have to have a meeting. I don't want to do it like leave on Christmas or anything.
I hear you.
I hear
Thank
you.
you.
All right, have a wonderful
I'll give
evening.
it 30 minutes.
All right, we got 30
The
minutes.
meeting was from 6 to 7. So I will give it another 30 and then
It is 7:04 PM on this Thursday, March 2nd, 2023 at 6 PM. We're going to have an abbreviated meeting, and with that, we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
By the way, you're at the hybrid session of Port Orford Parks Commission. Roll call, we have Commissioner Bechtel, Commissioner Casser, Commissioner Tidy, and myself, Commissioner Thompson. That is a quorum. I believe Commissioner Frazier is on the call.
On call.
Okay, all right, thank you. So we have 5 commissioners present. Additions to the agenda, I do have one, which we can do right away, which is Commissioner, a resignation from, thank you, Commissioner Kessler. And he's, so that's an agenda we can do. And just so for the good of the order, he is regretting to write to inform his immediate resignation as Park Commissioner. It has been an honor to serve on the board with you the past few years. I currently need to prioritize other parts of my personal and professional life and can no longer do so while giving the board and the city attention they deserve. I plan to continue advocating for you on an improved skate park and wish all of you on the board the best of luck. Regards, Eddie Kessler. So I'd like to accept his.
I'll move to accept Commissioner Kessler's letter of resignation.
Okay. Commissioner Casera moves. Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Bechtel seconds the motion.
Third.
Commissioner Frazier thirds the motion. So with that, by consensus, do we accept the resignation? Yes, everybody's in favor, in support of that. Okay, so, and thank you, Commissioner Kessler, for all the work you have done. Any other additions to the agenda? Okay. Citizens concerned, none present. Any online? Consent calendar meeting minutes from January 2023 unavailable. Moving on, financial report, page 326.
City Council approved that playground fundraiser bank account.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to go in and support it, they can go directly to the bank now instead of having money here at the city hall or anything else. There's actually an account set up just for that.
Like to
Does
express
that
my
not-
gratitude for City Council's
Yeah,
approval of that.
We got that accomplished.
Nice.
But that wouldn't be reflective on this.
Well, no,
Yeah.
so that way we'll see it on our next, as soon as it gets approved, not approved, but started.
Okay.
Then that could be, in a sense, a line item for us that would say, how to track those line items.
That would be very helpful.
Cool.
The account detail is a new thing for me, and I'm not sure what action we're supposed to take on it. Page 5. Is this part of the financials we're trying to approve?
No, that was what we've spent. You know what I mean? Like
I see.
maintenance worker, you know what I mean? We talked about certain funds take money for each worker.
Yeah, okay.
Because they're doing that part of the job, like the parks role in a sense.
But no action is required
No,
from us,
no.
because I wouldn't have the information to.
No,
approve
no
this.
action required. on
Just
this.
FYI.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
There has been a discussion that we see items that we directly influence.
Yeah.
And so that's been a discussion between Mayor, Jessica, and myself. And just for meeting minutes, there was that discussion. Because some of these things, there is monies taken out for employees, et cetera, that we don't have control over. And if we could explicitly know what we can directly put our fingers on and move, purchase, then that would be helpful.
I think that's what you would say with that money that you said.
Yeah.
Contingency money.
Okay.
The other
I think
money
that's
is in a
important.
line item now. We
Okay.
haven't specifically line item before, then that's what the
That's
contingency
what
money is.
that is.
When we say we
Okay.
want to upgrade the A-frame or something like that, it goes out of the A-frame money first, the A-frame money that was budgeted. And if it goes over that, then the contingency plan can back.
Got it.
Because also if we go over budget, contingency will make the budget zero, in a sense, zero now. Good. That's reports.
I believe we're supposed to either approve these or not, so. I
Well,
think we've been asked, have asked a number of times for some further detail now.
Jessica, do we have to approve the financial reports, or the financial reports are just from the city itself, the city council side?
Well,
I see another person.
moving right along then,
All right, so we'll go to commissioner report.
moving on to item 7, commissioner reports, Commissioner Beck.
I have nothing to report at this point.
Commissioner Casar here, I provided the draft rules for the skate rink. These are simply a draft based on, reviewing other online rule sets and trying to think of the different angles the insurance company might protest against. So I submitted the draft to Jessica shortly after our last meeting, and I believe it's in the packet tonight, if we have time to discuss it.
Okay.
Or if it's a moot point, after reviewing the emails from the insurance company, we can skip it.
Commissioner Tidy?
Just had, for long-term goals for myself was a visitor center for the community. City council had 3 short-term goals, 3 long-term goals. One of my long-term goals was new carpet in the visitor center and new furniture in the visitor center. So it's already on the agenda, so we can talk about doing that, because I feel that the visitor center and the new sign for Battle Rock that fell down in the storm a couple storms ago, that was on my long-term. So all my long-term goals had to do with parks, nothing had to do with anything else in the city. And all my 6 of my goals had to do with this, to try to make this better. The long-term goal was specifically to get the visitor center up to par and make it look amazing. That's it.
Commissioner Tidy, before we jump off, were you able to get into the old bathroom by the disc golf course?
Yeah, I was.
That's awesome.
So the bathrooms, I mean, it needs obviously new roofing and, a whole new roof, but it also needs, the plumbing's there, but it needs to be whole new fixtures.
Okay.
So that's something,
New toilets, new
new
roof.
toilets, new everything else, but
paint job.
everything's there inside. It needs probably like a $10,000 upgrade, just to make everything nice. And that would put a really nice bathroom back in the park. And I've noticed a lot of people go to that and don't know where our bathroom is in the park. So
And the other bathroom by the basketball court is simply just not.
it's not as nice. So that's something we could do as a long-term goal. I
Okay,
mean,
that might be a good one for the budget for.
that'd be
the next fiscal.
amazing, something for the budget to try to do. And it would behoove us to actually get a roofing quote from a roofing company, since it's just a small little thing.
Mhm.
We're already doing roofing quotes for the city, for all the other city buildings.
Okay.
So it might be something that I can ask to get done while we're doing, I don't think we're doing the A-frame, we're doing the water treatment center, the water, all the city buildings are pretty much It was this year.
Hmm.
Visitor Center is one of them. It's already been approved. We're just waiting on them to give us proper quotes for all of it. But I know that that little bathroom on top wasn't part of it,
Okay.
but it'd be something that we could maybe throw on very cheap.
I was gonna say, if we could add it to the work order. for
Yeah,
5 to 10
exactly.
grand.
So I think I can look at that, and if need be, we can try to put that on our budget for improvement. Because when you looked at the long-term, the master plan for the Parks Department, there was some upgrades to bathrooms and making them ADA compliant.
Right. Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Just backing up for a second, if you don't mind. So I'm just trying to understand, like, going back to what Pat was saying about process. So you were talking about new carpet, new furniture, new things for the visitor center.
So that'll be on our budget that we would talk about, you know what I mean? So that way,
So how does that, when I was talking about the, not transparency, I don't, that's not the word I'm using, but more like communication.
yeah.
How does that information get funneled back into this?
Well, I would bring it up, or you know, what I mean? We bring it up here, and then we decide on it. It goes to council, and council can be like, okay, we have that amount of money to spend to get new everything else that's approved. So it looks good that we approve it at our level to come to council, and council is the ultimate financial decision, just to make sure that it's financially feasible. for
So
us.
this is the first I've heard of it at all. So,
In theory, it's supposed to go down that way. We're supposed to, at this commission, do all that correctly, so.
all right, thanks for clarifying.
Yeah. So yeah, Commissioner reports.
Okay, so.
Oh, I'm sorry, 4th of July real quick.
Chair.
I'm sorry. Oh, I have one more last thing. The 4th of July committee came to me and asked to do a 4th of July disc golf tournament. So we're gonna do it, looks like 4th of July, before the parade, so. That's it. Yep,
Before the parade. Got it. Yes, that's when we have the annual pickleball tournament. So as long as we're not concerned about, every 4th of July. we get it. Yeah. So as long as there's nothing thrown over.
we could totally move it to an afternoon, evening thing. It would be fine too.
I'm not, it might be able to both happen. I mean, we never get errant discs that
Yeah.
go into the pickleball court.
Yeah.
So just say.
No, you're fine.
For the
That's
good of
awesome.
the order.
Yeah, it's a good.
And then, Chair Thompson, as far as, I will comment that we're now going to have these specific items, and Jessica's working on it, that are going to be presented in 2 weeks, so we can actually get the items that over the last year done. So that's my report there. I think pickleball activity is still strong. I think that getting those bathrooms, plural, going would be awesome. Okay, moving on. 8, old business, skating at community center building, rules from Clark, 710. Actually, 7 to 10 is beyond the
Yeah.
rule, so it should be item 9.
No.
But
Yeah, the 7
Okay.
was the email came from
okay,
Jessica to Lori, and then Lori's response back.
gotcha.
So, in really honestly, it looks very feasible to do. All the recommendations that she's asking us to do, about putting green padding around and the sharp objects, that's something we easily could do.
What was Rachel looking at that made her say that they're making a
She
recommendation?
was looking at the rules page, the page following the,
That's the rules, that was the rules that Clark.
and these are suggested, this was our initial beginning the conversation about what we want to see. So what do we need? What is needed from us at this juncture?
So I know that we had talked about them getting their own insurances and everything else, and then and Rachel had said that she would go out, and she's already looked into it and getting the proper insurances. It was the $2 and $3 million aggregate policy that we have to have for, like, the same style of policy in the sense that the school would have.
Okay.
For the apron.
Gotcha.
And that, that's all, that's on there too.
Well, so we,
Jessica, are you online?
I mean, we, as a Parks Commission, are still in full support of this skating
Yes.
endeavor happening, and that hasn't changed.
No, I think
think that's all we
I think it was the
need.
legalities from CIS. And now we're trying to work with Rachel to be, in a sense, she wants to be the liaison for it, but doesn't want to show up every single time. Doesn't want to be
Right.
handcuffed to it. So we'll have to figure out what she can do to make this happen. This, from the city's point of view, the city, it's the city council and the mayor, this is something they fully wholeheartedly support.
Right.
And that's why we're trying to really go around and figure out how to make this happen for our citizens.
Okay. Okay, moving on to item B, homeschool at the A-frame. What's the status of?
It was
Or
a
last council.
legalities because she technically did not have a business in a sense. It was all in her personal name. And the lawyer had, the city's lawyer had some questions about that, just to
Okay.
make sure that it was all up to snuff and everything.
Okay.
But again, I think the city, I think the council was approving it, but the attorneys.
So we just need to say now that we're still. in
Yeah, we're
support of the
still
A-frame.
supporting it. So
Okay.
it was just pretty much working on it because it was,
Okay.
it had nothing to do with the money or anything else. It was, the money was to do with making sure the $120 that we had said was enough to pay for the electricity and the water, which we figured out would be for the, all days.
Okay. All right, dog training class for the community center. I know it's been something and I appreciated Commissioner Frazier's concern. We were just at the crab feed. There's often food that is consumed in the building and on site. So that was something that was I think a legitimate concern.
I talked to Pamela, who had brought this up to us yesterday. She pulled me aside, that the trainer herself has disinfectant sprays and everything else that she would also, and she also has the insurances and everything that we would need, but also disinfectant sprays. So if there was any accidents or anything else while I was inside there, that would be. So, I mean, I'm just going off wild. So it would be disinfected if there was, just if you were to walk into Petco and the dog urinates on the floor. They're gonna disinfect it and move on.
Commissioner Frazier, are you on?
Yes, I'm on.
Anything to comment on?
No, I think as long as everything's going comfortably and clearly with regulations, it sounds good.
My thing is they're not preparing food inside of the community center. And all of their preparation of food is done at the American Legion building, as long as the council, there was counselors that had problems with this. So it's not,
Okay.
it wasn't, all for it. There was councils that said the same thing that Commissioner Frazier did about
Right.
just, cleanliness and everything else. And I could totally see that it's, Pam also said that she would like to do this regardless, even at like the baseball field. And I said outdoors,
You
would be
do it
perfectly
all day
fine.
long.
She said this for inclement weather times and everything else, she would like to have that, there. But also, if we decide that that's not what we'd like, that if she could use the baseball field with, closed fence area, that would be an option too. So just like,
It does have the sign that says no dogs allowed in the baseball
Yeah.
diamond, but if we want to
But I mean,
veto that for the special
Yeah.
use and approve that, our
it's something in our
commission, what are your thoughts?
I don't know how much you guys can hear me right now.
We
Yeah,
do
you're
fine.
good.
Okay, cool. Still getting over sickness, so voice is kind of weird and awkward. I am totally supportive of everything that goes on in a very safe environment with food handling and serving to the community. Obviously, I'm a business owner, a restaurant owner, so I do take that into concerns. So ASOL is not necessarily the best option, but as long as everybody's following protocols, and I can also teach people safeties of the same types of uh, I guess like ratios to water bleach to, how do I say that?
Proper disinfectant.
Yes, a proper way to disinfect without damaging food product.
So ultimately, if it's something we would like to put to the committee, I think the council wanted to make sure that that's something we wanted to do, because it seemed like there was apprehension the last time. And so that's why they sort of kicked it back down to us to make sure, do we want this? If we do want it, we can send it back up to the council, to yay or nay vote it. But it's ultimately our recommendation. Not the deciding factor, because the councilors aren't here, you know what I mean? To vote on their plan.
Commissioner, I'm skeptical that Commissioner Derek, Kiev, or Bechtel,
Yeah, I mean, I have some apprehensions, but it's nothing insurmountable. I would defer to Commissioner Frazier in terms of food safety and handling. I'm just a home cook myself. However, I think the attorney might want to weigh in on it in terms of, breed restrictions, or I don't know.
Right.
But dogs are a liability. I have one.
yeah.
That's why she had probably.
Yeah.
And I think that having, if Commissioner Frazier is comfortable with the protocols in place for sanitation, I'm, like I said, happy to defer to her on that for expertise. But in terms of the liability of having, dogs on the premises and slip hazards and disinfectant requirements and all that stuff, I think we should make
We
sure.
could always deny until we have further evidence that everything's in place. And maybe that's the direction.
I mean, that's what I was told, that everything already is in place, and essentially she already has her insurances, which she could provide to city with the business name and everything else. It was pretty much a space.
I think it might be helpful if she was here to.
Yeah, I know, that's why she pulled me aside.
Yeah.
Just to talk to me about it.
Maybe
Ultimately,
it's
we
a
don't-
matter of just tabling for now until
That's
we
fine, we
get
can table that
her
too.
in person.
I'll move to table that agenda item.
Okay, cool. And by consensus, we're tabling. Okay, wish list. Tidy had spoken to resurrecting the dilapidated bathroom by the start of the disc golf. I think that's something that is long overdue, and I would definitely support getting that on a to-do docket, for sure, as well as renovation of the old one, because it's, pretty bad. Anything else that comes to mind that, for wetlands
Yeah,
improvement?
you already know what I'm gonna say.
Yep.
The one,
Yeah.
and I'm absolutely up for it, because
Yeah,
the city
okay.
council's on it too, like.
The one is
Falling into
bathroom,
the swamp, yeah.
one is bathrooms, two is wetlands.
I think we also have
Obviously,
carpet for the
Carpet of
visitor
visitors,
center.
visitor center.
Is
carpet.
that, do you take that as a need, Bechtel, as a, okay?
When you walk into our visitor center, it doesn't represent what I
Okay.
feel Port Orford should be. I don't think she represents it either. We put a nice coat of paint on it, but inside needs some help.
Okay,
It needs updated, you know what I mean? It really needs. new
so
carpet. It
general
needs-
updating.
Well, it needs new carpet, new furniture for sure. As soon as you put new carpet, new furniture in there, it'll be
And I guess
great. It really will,
as,
it'll be great.
Mayor Pat Cox stated, as much as we can get the details. I don't know if that's, Kelly, something you want to
No,
put any time towards.
I can go into detail and try to get some budget numbers of what it would cost for new carpet. Some items.
Okay.
And as far as getting bids on somebody to repair the walkway, I know we talked about maybe trying to, rely on volunteer labor from the high school students or something. Is there an outfit in town or in the area that would be interested in building or redoing the walkway? I don't have great visibility into that.
We'd have to see.
I don't, I mean, my wife is a teacher. She could talk to the shop teacher. I think they're pretty tapped on what they have.
I'm thinking more of our
Commissioner Frazier.
Contractor.
CRN, what's up?
Hey, I know, Brian, your wife being in the school district and everything. I think there's a lot of outlets there, and I know Leela is very much so in with the, school, high school outlets in there. But I do believe that if we just put the word out and said things like, even if it's just to the principals, that is like, hey, if anybody wants to come do some like really awesome work for really awesome times with getting a written slip, because every high school student has to have this work experience, why not make it for the community? What I have to say there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good consideration. Thank you. So I think we need to maybe pursue a two-pronged approach on that one. One is to see if we can, tap local resources, and the other is what if we can't? What's the ask look like in terms of spend? Because that could be a very large number that the council just says we're going to deprecate the walkway instead. So I don't know.
And to honor Commissioner Bechtel's request on a half hour, there's no new business, no citizens other than themselves. If somebody wants to speak as a citizen or as a commissioner. But let's work on that wish list.
The next
For the
meeting,
next
if we're serious about this, we need to come in with our wish list. That way, it really can be handed over to Jessica, and we, product numbers, printed out, be perfect. That way we can just hand them to her and everything else, and it's on record. But we can email them or everything else. But
And then-
that way we have it on record, exactly what we want.
Commissioner Frazier, I would appreciate talking specifically on some of the playground line item things that we need and those monies to see how city can contribute. So without further
Sorry,
ado,
Commissioner Thompson, can you repeat that?
I would like to get together and talk specifically about dollar amounts and even have another conversation with the equipment manufacturer for the playground and some of explicit plans. So we have some dollar amounts to present so that some of that can get on the next budget as well. So that we can get some money through city for playground and not
Yes.
just private donation. So.
Yeah, sorry.
without further ado-
I hear you, and I would love to be that. And sorry, it's kind of different being home and not there, but yes, 100%. I would love to chime in there, and we should definitely talk about that more.
All right, sounds good. So our next meeting, April 6th, 6:00 p.m. That's a hybrid meeting. And with that, item 12, this meeting is adjourned at 7, begin at around 7.